Gordon?
Okay, Andrea, we're back talking to Omar Campos and his friend Adil Raji is translating for him. Now, Omar, you say this was a smaller plane, 10 to 15 passengers maybe?
No es muy grande.
No es muy grande.
It's not like too big, it's just...
tú sabes los aviones comerciales.
It's like business aeroplane.
Like a business jet,
yeah.
And it was a jet.
Yeah, it's like a business aeroplane.
Ajá.
Yeah.
And what did you see the aircraft do?
Pero ¿cuál tú lo viste exacto?
Oh, bueno, yo lo vi que me pasó así por encima y tú sabes que venía muy bajo y movía hasta los árboles según venía debajo.
It's come very fast down, it moves, then it goes straight to the buildings.
And big explosion.
Yeah, it's like...
it's
muy
big.
grande. Pero ¿sabe qué colores?
Lo alcancé a ver que era como blanco por bajo y como así alrededor como celeste.
What color was it?
It's like white on the top, it's like blue color downstairs.
White on the top and blue on the color.
It's not like
blue
like white blue. Como los aeroplanes de aquí, de América.
American Air.
Como así.
Algo así como los de la United, you know.
He said like a United States airplane.
And Gordon, you know, there's one thing we've heard from some conflicting information. They're saying like a large business type airplane. Others have said it's been as large as a 767.
Right.
There are conflicting reports we should tell people, including some military people who seem to have witnessed or getting information that it may be that large.
Right.
Okay, go.
All right, Dave and I are standing here thanks to Heather Cabot with Harry Goad, who was the Space Policy and Acquisition Division of DOD. You're on the 5th floor, and you saw this thing coming?
I did.
Tell us what happened.
We were just watching the World Trade Center on the internet, and I turned around, and I'm at a very large window, and I turned around and looked, and I saw the silver 757, it looked like to me, veering from the registered course over the Potomac River, and it had no landing gear down, and it was coming very, very rapidly, and then it took a dive, maybe a couple of miles, maybe over Roslyn. It took a dive into this building, and I saw it coming, and I hollered, "Hit the deck," and everybody in the office hit the deck because they knew that the World Trade Center was on fire.
So you figured this was it?
This was it. They were coming in, and you know, they're going to hit a lot of buildings, and this is going to be one of them.
So there's no question in your mind that the pilot, whoever was piloting that aircraft, was aiming for the building?
He was aiming for the building, but he could have went into center court mighty easily, which would have really done some damage, and I don't know, but whoever hit the outside, God bless him, because that's that also is an area of the Pentagon that's going to be under renovation. We've already done one wedge, and we've moved a lot of people out of this wedge here over there.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference from the pictures here than in New York, that the plane did not seem to penetrate the building as it did in New York.
That's correct. I didn't see, you know, I was really surprised at the impact. It was sort of, we've got an interceptor going up there now. I don't know what for. But the impact was not as great as I thought it was going to be.
There's an F-15 just above us right now as we're talking. Fighter aircraft.
So the impact was didn't seem as heavy as I thought it was going to be. It was a very light rumble from the other side of the Pentagon. The Pentagon is well fortified, but I don't know how well fortified it'd be right up against the wall there. So.
In the area that collapsed seemed to be the center part of where the plane probably hit the building. It didn't collapse till much later. I was here, I guess, about a half hour, 45 minutes. We watched that portion collapse, mainly from the structural damage from the airplane hitting it and also from the great deal of...
We have Dawn on the phone now, who was another witness to what happened at the Pentagon. Dawn, can you hear us? Dawn?
Hello?
Yes, Dawn. This is Andrea in the newsroom with Mike Buchanan. What did you see?
I saw it was an American Airlines 757, and it came in and hit the heliport, came down Columbia Pike and hit the heliport next to the Pentagon. I live in an apartment building on that side of the Pentagon, and it just crashed right into it. I don't know if it damaged the side of the Pentagon, but the Pentagon doesn't look that badly damaged, but I know it hit at least the heliport on the side of the Pentagon.
You said it was a 757. How could you tell? How could you see that?
Yes, I could see it. And my roommate is an airplane person, and he saw it too. I mean, we saw the whole thing.
Okay.
Did it didn't come out of National? It came in from the west.
It came right down.
Came down Columbia Pike.
Low and with throttles on.
With the full throttle?
Yeah. He actually added power right by the Sheridan.
And that's what we heard from Don as well. Added power and went straight for the Pentagon. So this was no accident.
No.
It was deliberate.
This was aimed right at it. But unfortunately, I think it hit the heliport and didn't look like it damaged too much of the Pentagon.
All right, Don, thank you very much for calling us with that.
Andrea, hey, listen, yeah, thank you very, very much.
Now, we do also have somebody to talk with us who was an eyewitness to the actual crash. He was watching from Arlington, Virginia, which is a suburb over. His name is Tim Timmerman. Mr. Timmerman, are you with us right now?
I sure am.
You're a pilot. Tell us what you saw.
Well, I was looking out the window. I live on a 16th floor overlooking the Pentagon and the corner apartment, so I have quite a panorama. And being next to National Airport, I hear jets all the time, but this jet engine I heard was way too loud. I looked out to the south, to the southwest, and it came right down 395, right over Columbia Pike. And as it went by the Sheraton Hotel, the pilot added power to the engines. I heard it spool up a little more. And then I lost it behind a building, and then it came out, and I saw it hit right in front of it. It didn't appear to crash into the building. Most of the energy was dissipated and hitting the ground, but I saw the nose break up, I saw the wings fly forward, and then the conflagration took, just engulfed everything in flames. It was horrible.
What can you tell us about the plane itself?
It was a Boeing 757, American Airlines, no question.
You say that it was a Boeing, and you say it was a 757 or 767. It's hard.
757.
757,
yeah,
which
American
of course
Airlines.
is American Airlines, one of the new generation of jets, and of
right.
course,
it was not. It was so close to me. It was like looking out my window and looking at the helicopter. It was just right there.
We were told that it was. We were told that it was flying so low that it clipped off a couple of light poles on its way in.
That might have happened behind the apartments that occluded my view, and when it reappeared, it was right before impact. And like I said, I saw the airplane disintegrate and then just blow up into a huge ball of flames.
So there was a fireball that you saw.
Absolutely, and the building shook, and it was, quite a tremendous explosion.
What did you see after that?
Nothing but the flames. And I sat here and I took a few pictures out my window, and I noticed the fire trucks, and the response was just wonderful. Fire trucks were there quickly. I saw the area. The building didn't look very damaged initially, but I do see now, looking out my window, there's quite a chunk in it. But I think the blessing here might have been that the airplane hit before it hit the building, hit the ground. A lot of energy might have gone that way. That's what it appeared like.
Well, there is, of course, we've heard some discussion about the fact that it could have been worse had it actually gone a little bit higher and gone into what's called the ring, the center of the Pentagon,
exactly.
which is
exactly.
This is a five-sided building.
Right. As you know, the rings are A, B, C, D, E. It has just caught the E ring on the outside, and that's why I felt it didn't look as damaged as it could be. It looked like on the helipad, which is on that side.
Right. Did you see any people being removed, any injured being removed, that type of thing?
No, sir. I'm up at about a quarter of a mile, maybe a little bit closer, and at that point I saw nothing like that.
Tim Timmerman, thank you very much, an eyewitness duty to the crash.
That's right, Doreen. Lloyd England wasn't just a witness, he was also a survivor. He very nearly died on one of the roads behind me, leading to the Pentagon. Lloyd England doesn't know why he was spared on September 11th, and he also has a question for the only person convicted of taking part in the terrorist attacks.
Why are you involved? Why are you taking responsibility for this? Because it's a big thing.
England was behind the wheel of his cab that September day, driving near the Pentagon.
The plane was so low it hit the pole. When it hit the pole, it knocked the light part off, and nothing came through the pole through the car but the pole itself.
The light pole shaft speared its way through England's cab, pushing the passenger side of his seat backwards into the rear of the car. A few feet to the right, and England would have been crushed.
I had to wrestle with the car to stop it, and when I did stop the car, there was no noise.
The jet's thunderous engines had been silenced by the fiery crash.
Just like yesterday.
But now, more than 4 years later, a jury is deciding life or death for Zacarias Moussaoui. England says he will accept whatever the jury decides, but he believes life in prison would be the best form of justice.
To him, personally, he would want to get rid of it. He wanted to solve the problem and not have to go through living. So to live would be the thing.